All data collected was calculated and transcribed on Tuesday, June 13th, 2023 on the OP Block server. This means not only can the data change in the future, but may be slightly different in the Neo Network server and all other following sister servers. Please be advised. Fission has been officially released and it is absolutely insane. In mere moments, the meta of the early game has been flipped upside down, allowing for insanely fast progression with almost no investment. In this video, I'll explain all the ins and outs of Fission, explain how it works, and all of the info I've gathered thus far so that you can be as well informed as possible going into Season 4 on the Neo Network Skyblock server. So first of all, what is Fission? Well, as we all know, Fission is a new custom mastery system being added to the server. It functions almost identically to vanilla Fission from a mechanical perspective, except allowing for unique rewards and custom fish to be received. As you progress further, you will unlock unique baits, which allow for different types of rewards to be received when you fish. If you saw mining as the Skycoin maker and mobs as the money maker, Fission is without a doubt the item maker, with the new baits allowing you to fish stuff like pet eggs and dragon fragments to a whole new treasure chest that gives all sorts of unique goodies such as XP bottles and spawners. If this wasn't good enough, the money the fish can potentially sell for is absolutely ridiculous, with fish selling for more than $600,000 for a single fish. This sell price is based on three main factors: the length of the fish, the star level of the fish, and finally the type of fish. The length of the fish is the base multiplier of the cost, being the initial value you should use when calculating the cost of a fish. This also affects the amount of Skycoins you receive, something we'll get into later. The star level is the next factor, multiplying the length of the fish by that amount to get the current cost. So if two fish are the exact same type and length, a 2-star fish would be twice as expensive as a 1-star fish. Finally, we have the types. Fish come in 4 main tiers: common, basic, exotic, and deep sea. Another tier may exist for lava fishing, but since that requires tier 5 in deep sea, information about that and other late game fishing unlocks will have to be put in part 2 of this video when I play on my island on Neo Network and I'm able to get a lot further and get this info a lot easier. Each tier has 6 different fish in it, besides deep sea which has 7. Below is the price multiplier of every fish I have caught thus far. The type of fish also affects the minimum and maximum length of the fish. So for example, blobfish has an insane 1000 times multiplier, but generally a shorter fish when compared to stuff like oarfish that has a 200 times multiplier but can get some really long fish. It's safer to physically check the cost of each fish with /sell before deciding which ones to use for mastery crafts. Speaking of mastery crafts, there are 5 masteries in fishing. Similar to the tiers, there is common, basic, exotic, and deep sea, with each tier of fish providing a point of mastery in their respective tier of mastery. Additionally, there is a vanilla mastery, which seems to increase whenever you receive any junk drops such as lily pads and cobwebs. What this means is there doesn't seem to be a way to specify which mastery you want to upgrade, and it is purely random chance based on which tier of fish you receive. Each mastery has their own unique unlocks, but similar to all other types of mastery, is quite similar across the board. Tier 1 unlocks the ability to craft a certain type of bait, a consumable item that can be placed on a fishing rod in order to apply different effects to the next fish caught. Vanilla fishing unlocks grub bait, an item that prevents default fishing catches, pretty much ensuring that you get a custom fish. This can be crafted with a stack of 64 dirt and 72 vanilla fish turned into enchanted fish. Since all fish are custom, you actually have to purchase the fish from the shop, with the cheapest seemingly being raw cod for $1,000 a piece. Basic unlocks earthworm bait, which applies a 25% chance to double catch and costs 64 lily pads and 72 basic fish turned into enchanted fish. At this point, I think it's important to mention that when turning into enchanted fish, they all must be of the same type of fish. So don't get confused when your trout isn't merging with your carp. Regardless, after becoming enchanted, they will all become the same item. Common unlocks arcane bait, which applies a 5% chance to receive 5,000 to 25,000 XP on fish cache, costing an enchanting table and 72 common fish, with the same point being applied to the fish type. Exotic unlocks shrimp bait, which costs a water bucket and 8 exotic fish, applying a 25% chance to increase the fish's length by 10 to 50%. And deep sea unlocks leech bait, which applies a 10% chance to increase the chance to catch a lava fish, costing 72 exotic fish and a lava bucket, which is weird given you don't unlock lava fishing until much later. Tier 2 is the same across the board, with the only difference being vanilla fishing, which doubles the chance of catching treasure chests, an item which when used gives you a bunch of random goodies such as XP and pet eggs. All the other tiers though will triple the amount of Skycoins received when fishing that tier of fish. At this point, I think it's important to mention the Skycoins you actually receive from fishing, which is a simple 1-to-1 ratio with the length of the fish with no boosters applied. Obviously, this means that if you catch something without a length like lily pads, you receive no Skycoins. But also kelp, which isn't a fish, actually gives some of the highest Skycoins, producing well over 1000 Skycoins per catch. Obviously, this is comparatively rare and you will often find yourself catching fish worth around 100 Skycoins. Not bad, but if you specifically want Skycoins and no money, I'd recommend sticking to mining. Quick thing to mention though, but I was actually doing some tests and noticed that the Skycoin list is very wrong, actually stating that mining is producing 12 times less than it's supposed to. Farming is also 2 times less, and mobs and lumber are 4 times less. This was done with no ranks and boosters on OP blocks, so I'm not sure if the same concern is on Neo Network, but it's something the devs should definitely look into regardless. My current leader also currently has a rank, so maybe that Skycoin boost affects everyone, but I know for a fact that mine is wrong since they boosted mine in last season, but never updated the GUI. So yeah. Tier 3 unlocks the ability to find enchants in enchant books, which is a new concept and quite an interesting one. This was a statement received by some people in the OP Blocks chat, but since there isn't a single fishing enchant on the auction house, I am led to believe it. Vanilla unlocks multi-fishing, an extreme enchant maxed at level 5 that applies a chance to double a catch. Not sure if this will scale with baits, but still cannot argue with double profit. Basic unlocks Bait Saver, a basic enchant maxed at level 3 that applies a chance to not consume bait when fishing. A very useful enchant that when paired with other boosts actually makes many of the baits worth crafting. Though this is a tad contradicted when we consider the common unlock of Bait Finder, an advanced enchant maxed at tier 3 that applies a chance to randomly discover bait when fishing, which depends on the odds may make you never want to actually craft a bait. With that in mind, I should also actually slip in here that the penguin pet also has a slight chance of fishing up a bait whenever you fish. I'm not sure if this scales with Bait Finder, but I have confirmed that I have the penguin pet and I have actually received bait, so definitely want to equip that if you're gonna go fishing. Exotic unlocks Pirate's Blessing, an extreme enchant with 3 levels that applies a chance to double a treasure chest when caught. Finally, Deep Sea unlocks Trophy Catch, which is an extreme enchant with 5 levels that simply increases the chance of finding higher tiered fish. A lot of these enchants seem to scale very nicely with each other and the baits, allowing you to craft a fishing rod that can catch multiple high level fish at once while making the best use of baits like the earthworm and shrimp. Not to mention, being able to actually randomly find the bait and lengthen their use is incredibly useful. Tier 4 is a simple bonus, actually doubling the sell price of the fish of this tier. For this reason, if I'm not using the cash immediately, I likely won't sell the fish just for the extra profit when I hit this tier. Of course, money isn't worth anything if not used, so if you're using it to buy early Skycoins or to increase your island value to top 5, I definitely would. But if you sell your fish and then just sit on 2 million for a few days, then the money is doing pretty much nothing but gathering dust. If you can get to tier 4 without selling some of your high tier fish that might be worth a lot of money, you will be getting double the price, so it's something I definitely would recommend. Tier 5 is a tad unique across the board, unlocking a new item, 3 new baits, and a suspicious lava fishing, which no one knows much about yet exactly how it works, and I doubt anyone on OP Blocks is going to make a video about it when they find out. Vanilla unlocks Pet Bait, an item crafted with 72 vanilla fish and 8 mob spawners that provides a 5% chance to catch a pet egg. Not bad given how cheap it is, assuming I'm just going to throw my stack of 600 cow spawners at it, and with enchants and other means of lengthening its durability. Basic unlocks a fishing net, a useful automated option for fishing that costs 5 barrels and 8 of the same exotic fish. It will then catch a fish every 15 minutes with a max capacity of 10. This can later be upgraded to the advanced version, which catches every 10 minutes with a max capacity of 20. Very useful if you're taking a break to sleep or something, and even better when you use your short to low star fish to craft it for incredibly cheap. It should also be noted that the only fishing related island upgrade has to do with the fishing nets, allowing you to place up to 50 nets as opposed to the standard 10. This means at max level you could place 50 advanced nets, netting you a total of 300 fish per hour. Though it's pretty slow, it can be a really cheap craft if low tier fish are used, and it's currently unknown if they can use baits. Regardless, it should be a great item to slap down when possible. Common unlocks Dragon Bait, which costs 72 common fish and a dragon summoning eye, and applies a 10% chance to catch a dragon fragment. Not a bad item if you have a surplus of summoning eyes, which many D-Boss mains had in previous seasons. Exotic unlocks Magnetic Bait, which allows for a 10% chance to catch a treasure chest, costing 60 netherite scrap and 72 exotic fish. Assuming this scales with Pirate's Blessing, I can assume this won't be a bad thing to pick up. Finally, deep sea unlocks lava fishing, which is currently an unknown concept that we will have to wait and see to find out more about. The final thing to consider is the new Aquatic Dragon Boss armor. This armor is insane, given a total 2% of not getting chunked, and also the same percent increase or chance of getting a deep sea fish, which as we know has some of the highest multiplier. This maxes at 10% at max tier. Furthermore, the set bonus of the armor gives a flat +2 uses per bait, maxing out at +10 at max level. This is insane, because unlike most other bonuses, this is a flat increase, so you won't get screwed over by chances and will always get the bonus. Furthermore, this scales incredibly well with stuff like Bait Saver, since the chance of saving the bait should logically activate on each individual use. While getting a level 5 armor set is going to be incredibly expensive, prioritize getting one set max at a time, then only using baits if you have the set. It's a great way to ensure you are always fishing with baits activated and could net an insane amount of profit in valuable items. For the most part, that's about it. At my current rate, having lore 8, I get about a fish every 9 seconds, which isn't bad all things considered. This is made even better because literally all you have to do is sit there holding right click while you watch a YouTube video. Obviously ensure that you stay focused in case any staff member wants to AFK check you. Likewise, don't actually AFK and don't use any external mods to autofish. Anyhow, fishing has proven to be a really powerful early game option that may have enough buffs and bonuses in the late game that it may compete with other progression methods. My recommendation with this update though is to buy Skycoins as early as physically possible. Fishing makes money incredibly easy to come by and will saturate the market quite quickly. As money becomes more attainable, Skycoins will dull in comparison, and people start spending more and more per Skycoin. The speed that Skycoins will hit $200 per will be faster than we have ever seen it before, but that's just my 2 cents. Regardless, thank you guys so much for watching, and please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for the support. Laters!